What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Geeks and Company. My name's JS, and today I want to talk a little bit about the Book of Boba Fett. I made a video a few weeks ago now. I want to say after the first episode of the Book of Boba Fett. And I was a little bit disappointed as to how they were portraying Boba Fett. I'm still disappointed as far as how the show is portraying Boba Fett. That being said, I did want to. My issue right now is how they are calling the show and the fact that they're calling it the Book of Boba Fett when the last two episodes are really focused more on Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, than Boba Fett himself. Actually, we didn't see Boba Fett last week at all. We saw him for maybe 1 minute at the end of this episode. So these last two episodes in a limited series. So let's be honest here, right? We only are getting 7 episodes. 2 of those episodes were filler. 2 of those episodes didn't feature Boba Fett at all. So why they decided to go the route of calling this the Book of Boba Fett instead of just making this season 3 of The Mandalorian is a little bit beyond me. I think this was all a marketing thing, thinking they were going to get people into the show by calling it Boba Fett. I think that's backfiring a little bit. For me, that doesn't work. I would have much preferred they just call this, The Mandalorian Book 3. Or whatever the case. That being said, the episodes of the Book of Boba Fett have been, I want to say, mediocre at best. Up until these last 2 episodes. Episode 2 had been by far the best episode. Episode 2 went into a little bit of the background or the backstory of who the Sand People are. We really didn't know much about them. They were always just portrayed as nomads, savage, wild. This shows us they're actually clans. They have their own culture. Either way, episode 2 was by far the best episode up until, I believe it was episode 5, where finally we get a Mando episode. So this whole show, I think it was episode 5, the whole show focuses on Mando. He collects on a bounty where really what he's looking for is the entrance to a Mando enclave. When he gets there, you find out that the armorer isn't in fact dead, that she is very much there. The big Mando in the blue armor, he's also there. He didn't die either. You also find out that he's actually a descendant of Tar Vizsla. Now, if you don't know the story of Tar Vizsla, he was the Mandalorian Jedi, or the first, I believe, only Mandalorian to ever become a Jedi, who created the dark saber. So this guy thinks that because he's a descendant that he has more of a right to the darksaber than Mando. They get into a fight. Mando ends up winning. The armorer asks him basically, have you ever removed your helmet? He says, well, yeah, I'm sorry I did, blah, blah, blah. How do I make it up? She basically kicks him out. And then he ends up back on Tatooine where he meets up with the mechanic lady. Again, I forget the name of that character, but the one that fixed his ship in the previous season. He goes to her because she sent him a message saying, hey, I found you a new ship. Turns out to be a Naboo starfighter that they completely rebuild. And it ends with him basically saying, I need to go find Grogu. I want to give him this little chainmail armor that the armorer made for him. And then Fennec Shand shows up saying, hey, Boba Fett needs your help. He says, tell you what, it's on the house, but I need to go find the little guy first. So in the last episode, or this week's episode, he actually finds this planet. They never identify it, but the planet where Luke, or robots, I should say, under the command of Luke, I'm assuming, are creating the new Jedi Academy. This is where Luke is training Grogu. You see Ahsoka in this show. You see Luke in this show. Obviously, you see Grogu. There's a lot of cameos in this show. Cobb Vanth comes back in this show. At the end of the episode, you actually see Cad Bane show up and shoot Cobb Vanth. Now, I don't think he's dead. The way that they're doing this is they look like they're helping his or treating his wounds at the end. So that tells me he's not dead. A lot of cameos in the show. If you are a Clone Wars fan, you are going to love this episode of the Book of Boba Fett. But again, really didn't focus on Boba Fett at all, even if it was by far the best episode of that season. By far. Again, we see Mando. You see the struggle between him wanting to connect with the kid and wanting him to, go through his own path. You see Luke teaching Grogu. You see Ahsoka actually having a conversation with Luke. She even says at one point, you're so much like your father, which maybe is not such a good thing. But overall, it was an amazing episode. My real only issue right now is not that this is not a good show, because this has completely turned 180. It went from a show that was meh to a show that's been amazing the last 2 episodes. But it's been amazing while not focusing on the title character of the show. The episodes that focus on the title character of the show are meh, and then now these episodes are great. So again, the way I see it, and I've been saying this since the beginning, and if you go back to podcast, I want to say a few months ago, before the show even started, we were doing a show on Star Wars specifically, and I did mention that my theory was that the Book of Boba Fett really was going to be season 2.5 of The Mandalorian. All it was going to be a bridge between season 2 and season 3 of Mando. It's exactly what we're getting now. It really is just a bridge. They should have just called it Mandalorian season 3, Mandalorian season 2.5, The Mandalorian _ the Book of Boba Fett. You know, like it should have still be branded as The Mandalorian and then something else. I think that's what they tried to do by calling it the Book of Boba Fett, where every season of the Mando is called, I think they're just called Book 1 and then Book 2. And then this is the Book of Boba Fett, and I'm assuming season 3 of Mando is going to be called Book 3. Either way, I feel like they missed the mark a little bit with the title. I feel they missed the mark with the marketing of the show, but it definitely is getting way better. If you're a fan of old school Star Wars, you're going to be happy about this because we get to see Luke, full-blown Luke. If you're a fan of Clone Wars, we're getting to see a bunch of characters that have been made popular by the Clone Wars, including Ahsoka and Cad Bane. Overall, this is amazing. I'm loving it. I hope you are too, but let me know below what you think. Are you enjoying the show? Do you have any issues with how they're calling this show? Are you even still watching it? If you're not, you're missing out because, like I said, these last 2 episodes have been great. Fantastic. But thanks for watching, everybody. That'll be it for now. Stay geeky, and we'll see you next time.